Surprisingly, very, very, very good price action today. And you might be wondering how I can really say that price action was good. And really, I'll go over that, but also recognizing the day of the week, right? Forex Factory tells us that we have FOMC. I don't know if this is like the real FOMC that's going to move the market hundreds of points. My guess is that if it is, we can say goodbye to our equal highs here. These will probably be hunted with FOMC, which is very disappointing in my opinion, because I really wanted to take a trade to take those out because I have a personal vendetta against those equal highs. I really want to be in a trade when they get taken, but it is what it is. I probably don't trade FOMC, 99% sure. But we have FOMC today, so we can anticipate slower price action. But the reason why I say today was very, very clean is because in my opinion, it really just was. I want to go over what happened today and what I was looking at. So my bias going today, wrote down on my journal, was just hesitant to be super heavy placing trades as there is FOMC later. Bearish overall with the big SMT with ES, but would need to see a lot of structure to place a trade. So the SMT of mention is this high here. ES has grabbed this high, NQ has not. Also, what am I looking at going into the day, right? I see that we're rejecting this double new week opening gap on the 4-hour after sweeping a high, right? That's in my eyes, right? We get displacement. If we drop to the 1-hour, we have displacement lower. Boom. We take out this high, so a liquidity sweep. Mark that in. So we sweep the high. That was that yesterday? 18? Yeah, 17. So we sweep yesterday's high and we displace lower, creating this 1-hour bearish fair value gap right here. Even more precise in this imbalance, we have a new week opening gap that is the new week opening gap from this week, right? What do? We trade into it. So this 1-hour is kind of big. Let's try and get more precise. We have a 30-minute there. Let's see if we got a 15-minute. The 15 minutes not really more precise. Let's see a 5-minute. We have a 5-minute imbalance here. So we have a 5-minute. We very well respect the consequent encroachment, pretty much, right? We close above it here. But then if we just get rid of this and realize we're in that imbalance, right, then we can look in at price action here, right? What do we have here? We have the new week opening gap, like I said, which is from the previous week, so it has the most power in my I guess. I mean, I don't know if the most recent one has more weight over the other ones. I really don't know. This is today's opening gap here. I only marked it out once because it's like pretty much at the same spot. But again, I'm really excited about price action today because it made a lot of sense, right? And I like days where it makes sense over, winning trades, right? I like when things make sense. Very, very simple reason behind that is just, makes you feel good. So going into the morning, that's what I was looking at here. And if we take a look here, we have one sweep on liquidity. We trade down lower. And then we have a second sweep on liquidity, so that's a 3 drive. And then we even have like a smaller time frame 3 drive right here before open, right at open. We have 1 drive, 2 drive, 3 drive. We even resweep it right at open. If you can see on this market open candle, we just resweep the equal highs, which is nice. And we displace lower. So market open, yeah, we were displacing lower. We're coming out to this low. We put an SMT with this low here, and we end up displacing higher. And my first trade idea that I wanted to take was in this 5-minute imbalance. And I think I'll go on to trading view for this one because the show context here. So the reason I wanted to do trading view is I can do the market replay because this is kind of interesting live time. On NQ, the first trade I wanted to place was this the 1 minute. Yeah, this is the 1 minute. Was actually around here. So I wanted to see this low at some point get taken, right? I wanted to see this low get taken, and then my higher time frame draw is this low and this low, which is I think where we're headed. Because again, the bigger time frame model, we swept the high, we have an SMT, we display slower, we're holding a 1 hour and a new week opening gap. We display slower, we pull back, we held the 15 minute, and we're displacing again. Very, very clean. Again, in my opinion, just very, very clean. But what was I looking at going into open, right? We set this 5 minute fair value gap right here. Boom. I was keeping an eye on this, wanted to see some sort of reaction. We have a 2 minute gap right here that I wanted to see a inverse and then get a trade to this low and then hold runners lower. I don't love this because of how close we are to this low and that we have an SMT, but I do like that we just play slower. We're holding the 5 minute imbalance, right? We're looking good. So we never end up running this imbalance right here. And I actually get saved from this 1 minute, right? Because this 1 minute gets closed around here. This 1 minute imbalance gets closed above or below. So this could be someone's entry. I wanted to see the 2 minute, and if we look at the 2 minute, we get a very nice wick, and then we get another big wick, taking out this low again, resweeping the low, and rejecting higher. So at this point, I started to get a little worried with price action, but then wanted to see a turtle soup of this high to then go lower. And then let's see on the 1 minute, right? I wanted to see this become a turtle soup and then go lower. So what do we get? We get a small turtle soup here, and we get a small reaction, but it isn't anything crazy. Then we re-sweep this high at 10:50. Let's see if this is what I'm looking for. What time is it that we get the last one? 10:04. So 10:04, we get the last sweep. So we get a sweep here. Okay, I'm thinking it's good to go. And then boom, we get one more sweep. So again, a 3 drive, 1, 2, well, even more, 1, 2, 3 drive there. But that being said, here we have a SMT. And the reason why I really like this SMT and why I expected us to go lower, even with the slow price action, was because not only were we holding a 5 minute gap, but then we actually created this 15 minute fair value gap right here. And I'll pull up ES at the time, right? ES at the same time, right, on the 1 minute. What time was it? It was 10:04, right? So 10:04 was right here, right around here. 10:04 is right there. Just gonna remove that so you can see we had the SMT, right? We had this. We had an SMT here, right? This low is a lot lower than this, and we never retraded into the 15 minute fair value gap. We never retraced into it. So we had an SMT fair value gap with ES and NQ, which gave me confidence that we were going lower. So at this time here, now I wanted to see some sort of confirmation because this is a lot of chop. This 2 minute was still where I had my eye on it. And then in the ideal world, right, I was waiting for a close below. We get a close below here. And then I was going to place a limit order at this level right here, right at where the fair value gap would the inverse was. So a retest of the inverse fair value gap, and I would have targeted maybe the new day opening gap, maybe the low. Let's just say wherever. Let's just say the low to keep it honest, right? Our stop would have been somewhere. It would have been a decent risk reward, and this would have filled me in perfectly. No ticket drawdown right here, and we would have ran straight to TP. So, and to prove that this was actually something I was not that I got to prove anything, but to kind of show what I was looking for here, I'll pull up the trade execution that I didn't execute physically, but I'll show that I was indeed looking for it. And let me just find the one. Should be this next one. No. Okay, so here it is. So this is me actively looking for the trade right here. So here we go. I have my limit order set. I was waiting for the close above or below. Right there we get the close, I believe. No, we get the close here. I had my limit order right at that level, but then I was just like thinking, and I was like, okay, this price action right here is scary. I don't know how I feel. I don't know if I'm willing to risk this. I again should have just taken it because the risk was good. Was not that much risk even if I put my stop at this high. But just something told me today that, price action doesn't look amazing here. Why do you really want to risk this? Why are you gonna, whatever risk? Like again, why would I risk getting in on this area and just losing, right? When price action is clearly choppy, even though we have good context to why we could get into a trade there. So I was just hesitant. I kept moving to this level, kept moving away, just kept rethinking, do I really want to do this? Do I not want to do this? What's the plan here? And then as you can see, it comes up and ticks it. I was maybe trying to get filled at the equilibrium point to mitigate risk, but then it ticks it here, and then the rest is history with that. It just instantly trades down. I was like, okay, it hit it. Let me see if it can come a little higher. It never does. So I end up missing that entry, and one of the things I'm proud about is I did not chase. I kind of wanted to, right? I almost dragged it down, and then I was like, you know what? Like that doesn't make any sense because I missed my entry, right? If I want to get filled here, I want to get filled here. So I can't just, I can't chase the market down, and I have to be okay with the fact that I didn't get in because I was hesitant in price. It wasn't because I didn't see the trade or anything like that. I still saw the trade. I saw exactly what I wanted to see. I saw what I anticipated, and it worked out, but I wasn't involved. I didn't get the benefit from it, and I just closed my order, and it sells all the way through. And at that point, I was definitely frustrated because you guys can see I was trying to execute on this trade. Exactly where I wanted to get in was the tick, and then it ran straight low with no real hesitation at all. But the lesson from this is just, it's okay to not take a trade even if it works, right? It's okay to not take a trade even though you see it, because that trade, right, although it was a good trade, ended up working, right? What did we have before us telling us to do this, right? This was the macro. This was the 1050 macro, and let's look at how price was, right? 9:55 to 10:10. We end up running it a minute after the macro closes, but this is the macro time. And does this look very exciting to be in this trade here, right? With all of this is the macro when we're supposed to run. We sweep this high. This is the 15-minute high. We tap into the 15-minute fair value gap, which is the blue box. We respect consequent encroachment. We respect this order block. We have an SMT. Then we sell off through, right? But it's still sloppy. Do I really want to get involved when price action is looking like this? Because most of the time when a price action is looking like this, it's not going to be a great run to TP, and you're just going to get chopped up unnecessarily. So again, I'm very happy with my decision to not take the trade overall, even though I very easily could have been filled. And looking back, the ideal stop loss hindsight is that right above this order block here, this 1 minute, you're risking 14 points. So very, very good risk. So what's that mean? I think that means, like 60 ticks, 15 points. So really, really could have been great risk there. Would have been around a 2 RR. And then if you target the new day opening gap, it would have been a 2 RR and lower 2.3. So very, very solid trade in my opinion there that I didn't take, and I'm very happy with not taking it, right? A lot of confluences on this trade, but again, that doesn't mean everything. We end up taking this low. Again, there's no reason that I have to take a trade just because I see it. So that was something that I really did like, but I just didn't execute on it. So the next thing I want to talk about is the delivery at 11 a.m. was very, very, very clean, and I want to take note of that. And I'll show you guys I'm up 240 on paper. I've been trading micros on paper because it just makes more sense to do something realistic. And again, I was live marking out that this was the turtle soup high, and at least that's what I was anticipating, and worked out good. So I have to take pride and take enjoyment and satisfaction from being right, even when I'm not rewarded physically with a take profit. So this was very, very good price reading, but then I also did a very good job of recognizing FOMC day, choppy conditions. Do not, why risk money? Why risk a trade when it's choppy? Even though you see a good setup, right? Let's take into consideration all things and not just get blindsided about making profit. And so I'm very, very happy with this. Even though again, it's not sexy, it doesn't pay the bills to not trade. But it also does, in a weird way, it does help you a lot. So very, very frustrating but fun day there. But that was just the beginning, really. Price action. This section here, I really want to go over this move down because there was a lot to learn and a lot to capitalize on in this move. And wow, we kept going. Yeah, I definitely want to go over some of the stuff that was happening here because this was beautiful too. And again, I'm having this try and rewire my brain to not be super disappointed because I am definitely disappointed in the fact that I did not take any trades today and didn't make any money. Like I definitely have some sort of, I do feel, not regret, but it's like wow, I could, like, this actually ended up being really clean. Like I could have had, good trades. But again, I'm just trying to move away from that because that doesn't matter. That's not the point, right? And I can get just as good today, right? Even if I took 2 trades and I made $400 in my eval, that's not changing my life at the end of the day. Changing my life is going to be practicing the good habits and actually getting better and being more confident in my decisions. And that's going to be that's all that's trading is getting more confident in your decisions, right? It has nothing to do with absolutely nothing to do with, did I make $300 in my eval today, right? Because what's that going to do for me? That's not going to do anything for me if I don't know how to repeat it, and I don't have confidence in what I'm doing. So although, yes, I would love to have taken winning trades today, I have to recognize that I still got better and I still learned a lot, and there's still a lot to take away from today regardless of outcome. So just being okay with that's hard because, I want to make money during the day, or I want to feel like I did something, but regardless, I want to go over this price leg here, but I do want to show the executions because I made 241 on the practice. I took a loss here, which should not have been a big loss, right? The reason I took a trade here, we had the 2 minute that we end up coming back to. So I just want to show the executions here. I entered most of my position around here, and I'll go over that. And then we sold off. I was just selling. I was just taking profits at different points, just kind of practicing different areas. And then we scaled the whole contract out here. I was going to leave a run under this low, but it was just, it's on paper, so there's really just no need. I walked away and went ate some lunch. But yeah, this is the leg I wanted to go over, right? This is my paper. So it's not like I just sit here and just take a bunch of trades on paper, right? There's a lot of executions because I was taking a lot of profits and I was scaling in. But it's not like I'm just sitting here pushing buttons on paper. I was physically taking a good trade that I had conviction with. This trade here, I was just more practicing, right, an idea here. I'll turn off the executions here just so it's not so sloppy. But I was practicing here because we came up. I wanted to see the draw on liquidity be lower. When I saw it was displaced lower, what did I see here? I just took this inverse right here, this 30-second inverse, and I wanted to see this low, right? It doesn't end up getting met. We probably shouldn't have lost 300, right? I put my stop here, and I just kind of I kind of stepped away, came back, and we got stopped out because I got in here, had my stop here, and just walked away, and then it came up, stopped me out. So realistically, we probably wouldn't have lost that much, but again, it was paper. It was just testing an idea. So going into this trade example here, the reason why it's super clean, I'll go over it on NQ here, or not, obviously NQ, but I'll go over it on this chart here, which is the I do want to save this template right here, save as EQ. But let's mark this out as the 15-minute imbalance, right? 15-minute bearish fair value gap, right? So we'll drag that out in time. That is right here. Yeah, right there. So on the 5-minute, right, we have this 15-minute imbalance. We have this high now that has buy stops or sell stop, whatever the case, right? Doesn't have to be so technical all the time. We have a strong reaction out of this taking liquidity on the new day opening gap. We come back down again, and we're just kind of building price structure. We're really choppy still, nothing really in the 5-minute. We come back up. Now that we sweep this high, I now have interest again in this area because, again, ES never came back up to this 15-minute balance, right? We did sweep this high, which we had an SMT here. So we didn't make a new SMT, but we still had a prolonged SMT here. If that makes sense. I don't really know if that makes sense to anyone other than myself. But then I wanted to notice price action within this 15-minute balance. So we end up running liquidity here, right? We have an even bigger SMT now that we don't need to mark out because it's kind of irrelevant, but we end up sweeping the high, right? And we have a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. And I want to see how price responds in this imbalance, right? And then we see we're holding strong. I wonder if we have an SMT here. This will be very sniped. Hindsight as well. I wasn't really looking at this, but what time is this? 10:47. 10:47. It's not an SMT. It's like equal highs, so that would be just a little ridiculous to really consider that as, you know, anything valuable. But we do sweep that high though, so we don't leave a bunch of stacked highs. We sweep the high and we have a reaction. What do? We end up displacing lower. And I think my first entry was on this 1 minute fair value gap. So my first entry was this 1 minute fair value gap right here. I wanted to see us get filled. I wanted to see us get filled there. I'm pretty sure stop was around there. And then targeting here and obviously targeting lower. If I draw that out. So I was targeting this, right, as the extended 100-something points. But if we look at what was happening at the time, right, we ended up getting ticked into this trade right there. So that was the first spot. And I kind of just added, not really weird, but I kept adding around here because I had confidence. And the more I saw price develop, the more I had confidence. What did we have here? We had a 5 minute fair value gap that I wanted to see get ran to the downside. It became an inverse fair value gap on the 5 minute right. On this candle here, it was one, right? So we had this 5 minute fair value gap that got closed below. So I ended up scaling or adding most of my position after that when we traded back into it. And then at this point, this trade looks very good because we have a liquidity sweep here. The only thing that we don't have yet is a break of structure on one of those swing lows. So this is the swing low. At the time here, this fair value gap was holding, and it looks very bullish, right? It looks very, very bullish, this reaction, because we failed to take out any lows or swing lower. But we do get a move down and we come back up. But when you look at the chart here, everything is still going fine because what did we now create? We created a 5 minute, and it's getting kind of messy here, but we create a 5 minute bearish fair value gap. So this blue one with the line is the 5 minute bearish, just to keep that in mind here. So we have that and it's unfilled yet, and that's also where we got in basically. So what do? We come back up and we enter this fair value gap. So I'm going to take away the inverse because now we have a bearish PD array by itself. So now I want to see price then break structure on this leg here, right? I want to see it close below this to confirm that we are in a bearish move, and then you can trail your stop to this high. And at this point, my stop was definitely just more around this. And this is a very good stop, 15 points, 20 points, right? And we end up running and closing. Actually, we hold this strong here. We sweep this low. We haven't got a close below it, which is what I wanted to see. And we haven't inversed this fair value gap yet. Then we end up getting a close below here. We end up closing below. And now we have another inverse fair value gap that should hold price with an order block that I do not think we revisit. Yeah, we do not revisit it. And we continue to sell off pretty strong. And then we finally break this final bearish fair value gap right here. And then we send price to the low of day. So this price run, I highly recommend studying this price run because a lot to learn from this. Very clean delivery. This 5 minute right here that we trade into is very clean. This 15 minute, we sweep out the 15 minute high, we displace lower, we inverse a bullish fair value gap. We dig into this imbalance, right? We respect consequent encroachment, we displace lower. If you didn't get in till this, then on the 1 minute, I would say the best entry would be, unfortunately, I don't really see a way that you could really enter this very well on this time frame. Maybe on the 30-second. Realistically, on this 30-second here, you might just not get an entry because we get the displacement, we tap this low, and then maybe this fair value gap. But that's for me. That's a little chase. I think you just have to trust. You just have to trust in what you're doing. Let's see the 15-second. Yeah, I mean, I really just don't know how you would enter this if you didn't get in earlier. So for me, I would honestly probably struggle to have found this trade or gotten into this trade with inverse fair value gap logic. And wow, we didn't take that low, so that could be FOMC low. But regardless, this trade ends up working very, very well. Just to let it take profit here, we do snipe this low, and then notice this inverse right here from this 1 minute right here. We end up trading back to it, I believe, right? And look at that. I didn't even realize that we held consequent encroachment so strongly, and then rejected, which is beautiful to see. And then we obviously just went lower and lower and lower, and failed to hit up the last take profit. But this price run here, very worthy of studying, very worthy of viewing. I'm super glad I got to watch the price action develop live time with a demo trade going, because obviously it helps, it helped me learn today, and I got to take a lot of benefit from it. So that's really all I've got for the trade recap today. Again, didn't take any trades. I won't be trading FOMC. The reason for that is, I'm already trying to limit like my bad mistakes, my bad losses. So why trade in a very improbable for me, because I don't have any experience trading FOMC. So why come into a market just trying to force my hand and try and get results out of something that I don't need to get results from, because no one's making me trade FOMC. It's not FOMC isn't every single day, so there's no reason for me to be involved. So I will actually lock my account, right? And we end the day with no trades. But again, this is about as good of a no trade day as you can ever ask for. Price action wasn't the most efficient and smooth, right? But this was a very beautiful day. I do encourage everyone to really look through their charts. In my opinion, I just broke down everything that you really need to see. Let's see if ES took out that swing low, and we have an SMT. Let's see. This is the 14. No, we didn't take out this low, so I'm not really sure the reversal there, but regardless. But yeah, again, this is a bigger time frame range, right? We're kind of very choppy. This is very low probability conditions, but it doesn't mean that price isn't going to deliver well and that you can't learn from it. So I just always encourage that you try and learn from the charts, regardless of the day, regardless if you trade. So even though I didn't take any trades myself, this was still a very, very great day in my opinion for me. And yeah, I would love to have made money today, but you can't make money every single day. You can't place trades every single day. You have to be okay with that, and slowly trying to learn that and accept it. And I think that'll help my trading in the long run. So we have been crushing on YouTube lately. I think we're about to hit 1,000 views on my last video. That will be 3 back-to-back videos with 1,000 views, which is unbelievable. And anyone that watches this far, I appreciate you. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Leave a comment, leave a like, whatever. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone that tunes into these videos. Really, really inspiring. So I will see you guys tomorrow. See you guys Thursday. Hope you guys have a good day. Go do something fun. Probably about to go surfing. If you guys live in Florida, we've been getting a little swell. So Monday was crazy. Monday was insane. But yeah, probably gonna go surfing, enjoy my day, watch some Champions League. But yeah, if you guys made it to this point in the video, be grateful for the small things in your life, right? Be grateful for a day like today, even if you traded, didn't trade, whatever. Be grateful that you had the opportunity to wake up and you were able to be here today. So be very, very grateful, and yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day. And be safe with FOMC. I'm telling you, man, if you're not confident that you can trade FOMC, think twice about trying to press buttons during it, because yeah, you might win, but you could also lose very, very badly. So yeah, and does anyone know if it's like the real FOMC? Because I swear there's so many times where FOMC is like not the actual FOMC. I don't really know how to explain it, but that's besides the point. I'll let you guys go. Yeah, peace.